Hello, welcome. So today we're going to be taking a little dive into r/best of Redditor updates. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in listening to with me today, then please do stick around and enjoy. And don't forget to like and subscribe, please. Thank you. And of course, little disclaimer, any opinions I give on the post are just my opinions, just that, not facts, not to be taken as such. If you have a different opinion, do feel free to share it in the comments, just keep it respectful. There is no need to be mean to anyone you do not agree with. With that being said, let's get into it then, shall we? So this one was posted by Choice Evidence 1983. New update 1 year later. Am I the butthole for saying I would stay at my mum's if I had to share a room with babies? So Choice Evidence is not the original poster, they are just the person who compiled it together for us like a lovely little bean. The original poster is u/secret anonymous 12, originally posted to Am I the butthole. We have some trigger warnings for manipulation and possible bullying. Originally posted July 20th, 2023. I'm 16F. My parents split up before I was born. Custody as I live with my dad most of the time and my mum every other weekend, plus random staying with her if I want. Recently, my dad got engaged to Hannah, and she and her kids are moving in. Hannah's kids' ages are 9, 7, 2, flippin' heck. She is widowed, so they live with her full time. This made room arrangements a bit awkward since there's only 3 kids' bedrooms to go around. Dad and Hannah talked it over last night without consulting anybody, and Hannah came over this morning to announce with my dad what they decided. Apparently, they want 9 and 7 to each have their own rooms, and me to share with the triplets, because my room is significantly bigger than the others, and I don't stay there full time. You basically do! Like, what? I said their plan was stupid. They wanted me to share with 3 toddlers. They said they didn't want me to move, but it was the biggest room, so other people should share. I said I didn't care if I switched rooms, because the more logical move would have been to have the triplets in the big room, 7 and 9 share, and I get my own. Yeah, exactly. That would have been what I would do if I had that many. I said I'd take the smallest one until I move out. They said that it would be more work to move my things to another room, and their idea was more practical. Then asked why I was so pressed since I don't even live here full time. Yeah, but you do though. Like, only going to your mum's every other weekend, otherwise you are at home unless you decide to go to your mum's. That's full time, with just a couple of breaks each month. Like, that's full time. I said not staying in the room 4 days a month was a sorry excuse to land me with a bunch of toddlers, and if they seriously planned on doing it to me, I'd make the custody agreement change and I'd stay with my mum for the most part. I know she doesn't mind because both of them remind me I could stay with her whenever I wanted. Yeah, I mean, I think if OP just went to their mums and was like, I'm moving in, and then the dad decided to take it to court, the court would be like, well, yeah, you obviously don't have any room and you're making this teenager's life very difficult. So yeah, maybe she is better at her mum's. Like, that would be the most sensible conclusion to all this. If they don't want to budge on 9 and 7 having their own rooms, I'm sorry, but the 16-year-old should have their own room. Like, a 16-year-old shouldn't have to share with little children. This made Hannah cry because she wants her family to blend together nicely. And apparently I was ruining her plans. Hannah, you have only just come in with your horde of kids. Pipe the fuck down. This made Dad mad at me, and I'm not allowed to talk to Hannah until she forgives me. Yeah, absolutely not. I'm sorry, no way. If I got with someone who acted like this towards my kids and then said they're not allowed to talk to me until I forgive them, I'd be like, get out my house now. I didn't know this meant so much to them, but I'm still saying I'll stay with mum longer if I have to share with toddlers. But my dad made me feel a bit guilty. So, Am I the butthole? No, your dad's acting like a shit parent. Hannah needs to pipe the fuck down because she's only just turned up with all of her kids. Like, Hannah, this has nothing to do with you, love. Like, you can't just come in and decide to change the whole dynamic of everything. Especially if the OP's like, I'm willing to work with you here and take the smaller room so I can have my own room or go and live with my mum. Like, Hannah, you can't have it all your way, love. It's not gonna work. I feel like Hannah wants to like punish the OP for some reason or another. She knows it's gonna be awful as a 16-year-old sharing with 3 toddlers. I think also that she kind of wants the OP there to deal with the toddlers so she doesn't have to, if you ask me. Otherwise, why the hell is she so gung-ho to have them all in the same room together? I think it's like she's trying to hopefully pass the buck off to the OP for the OP to get up with them in the night when they wake up and things like that. I don't know. Just my thoughts. But yeah, I also feel a little bit like she's trying to punish OP for existing. Her husband's ex's kid or something, I don't know, but this is ridiculous either way. There is easy solutions here and they just don't want to do it because what? They just don't want to budge? Like, why? So, update number 1. I'm at my mum's house at least for the weekend while the adults try to work things out. It's not hard. It's so not hard. The solution's right there. The OP gave them the solution. It's right there. But my mum said I was welcome to live with her full time, and if I really wanted, we could change the custody agreement. Also, thank you for all the replies. I really wasn't expecting this to blow up as much as it did. LOL. Verdict, obviously not the butthole. And an editor's note to say OOP did not leave any comments here in the original post. So, the top comments from the post, commenter 1, not the butthole. They know what they're doing to you. They only act like they don't. Your sharing with the triplets makes you care for them at night, yep. Bingo, and as soon as their bedtime begins. It is not practical at all. Where should you hang out between their and your bedtime? Living room with them? I would assume Hannah wants you to leave and your dad either wants you to babysit or simply doesn't actually care if you are there, but they want you to be the bad guy. Exactly. And then commenter 2 says not the butthole. Hannah thinks the best way for her family to blend together nicely is to instantly make her stepdaughter the free babysitter for 3 toddlers. Dang, like, at least the evil stepmother waited till Cinderella's father died, not just made her a free maid instantly. Also, your dad kinda sucks. Who in their right mind would want to share a room with 3 toddlers, let alone someone that's almost an adult? He's favouring his stepkids over his biological daughter to keep Hannah happy, and he's willing to make you sacrifice things like your privacy. So this next update was 3 days later. Update 2, because somehow I'm still getting responses to this. Everyone talked, but Dad and Hannah are staying with their decision, and I've decided to move to my mum's long term, and we're going to switch the custody around, so I'll only see my dad every other weekend, and I'm just going to sleep on the couch when I'm there. Obviously nothing is set yet, but that's what we're going to do, and thanks everyone for being so nice. And then we have a new update. So this was over a year later from the previous update. I still get messages here and I just found this account again, so I thought I'd update whoever sees this. I still live with my mum and I love it here. Hannah openly dislikes me, so I don't even stay for weekends anymore at my dad's house. We call sometimes, but it is what it is, I guess. Hannah's kids are fine, but I only see them on holidays. Also, Hannah's pregnant again, and 7 and 9, now 8 and 10, are going to share a room. So I guess it wasn't too much work in the first place. She just hated me. LOL. Yeah, the writing was on the wall of what Hannah was trying to do. I did get that feeling of it was kind of a thing of, well, if I've got to put up with you being here, you're gonna look after my kids for me and be my skivvy. So I'm glad that the OP has gone to their mums and is happy there. And you know what? I'm kind of glad they're not even going to their dads anymore, because what a toxic environment to be in. Like, being around a woman that hates you all the time and your dad's doing nothing about it, and he actively chose to put you in that position because he wants to be with her. Yeah, no. If I was with someone and they actively dislike my kids, they'd be gone. It's simple as that. So, down in the comments of the Best of Redditor Updates post, Inevitable Care 1875 says, I can't understand marrying someone who hates my kid, and I hope I never do. Precisely, me either. Like, that's wild. And then Lady Loki 5 says, as a stepmom, I can't imagining marrying someone whose kid I don't like. Exactly. I've always said, right, so obviously we know that I am like perpetually single forever. It's how I like it. But I have always said that if I ever, met someone and kind of fell for them or whatever, and they had a kid who I really didn't like, who was like a bit of a brat, because you know how some people, like, their kids are just brats. Like, there's no two ways about it. Like, and I know no kid is ever perfect. That's not me being like, my kids are like little rays of sunshine and everyone else is up there. No, but you know when you meet those few people that their kids actually are just awful. And if I was with someone and they had a kid like that, I'd be like, oh, I can't be with them. Like, I'm gonna have to, like, leave the love of my life because, my God, if I have to put up with that child forever. God, that sounds so bad, but I feel like you'll know what I mean. Like, if I really didn't like someone's kid, I wouldn't be with them. It's not fair on them, it's not fair on their kid, and it wouldn't be fair on me either. So I'd just be like, yeah, I need to skedaddle out of here. Okay, then next post posted by Direct Caterpillar 77. My boyfriend blames me for a business deal gone wrong because he was rude to me. So this one was originally posted by u/Marzipan Fabulous. I am sure that I have just seen a friggin' massive wasp go into the guttering outside my window. I swear if they are building a nest, I'm going to be mighty miffed because I cannot be without my windows open. Like, I have to have my windows open all the time. Let's not. Let's not do this. Buzzy bee. Not even a buzzy bee, a buzzy twat, because it's a wasp. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked. So, we do have some trigger warnings for misogyny and verbal abuse, and it was originally posted March 15, 2021. My boyfriend Derek owns a bunch of businesses. A few days ago, he wanted to meet with a representative of a restaurant chain in order to acquire one of the stores. Derek invited Alex, the representative, to have a dinner with us at a fancy restaurant. Everyone followed COVID protocols where I live. Oh, I've just realized, I was thinking, why COVID protocols? I didn't think they were a thing anymore. And then I've just seen 2021. Makes sense. Things were going well, and when Derek left for the bathroom, Alex and I began to talk. Alex told me his family were originally from Russia, and I told him my father trained in the Russian army. When Derek came, I was talking to Alex about a good borscht recipe. I think that's how you say it. Borscht or borscht? 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 I'm not sure. The word is losing meaning the more I say it. Derek, for some reason, thought I was annoying Alex and told me Alex came here to talk about business, not some dumb Russian soup, and then said, sorry about that, Alex. She talks a lot about useless anecdotes. Oh my goodness, what a twat. Also, I'm pretty sure Alex, being Russian, is not gonna be thinking that one of his cultural soups is dumb. Wow, way to just tank your chances of any business sort of collaboration with this representative. I got red in the face and Alex said, well, Derek, I care about some dumb Russian soup because I'm Russian. Things were awkward, and a long story short, Derek didn't get approved for the franchise, and now he's blaming me for it. I feel really guilty, and I don't know what to do. Let me give you a hand and a few tips on what you do. You pack up his stuff, you throw it outside, and then you say, bye, Derek. See you never. Okay? That's what you do. So then relevant comments, your dad never loved you says, nah, this is all on him for assuming the conversation wasn't going well and that it was you. If he was smart, he should have just joined the convo and found a more natural and less douchey way to move it back to business. Your boyfriend sounds like a dick. Yeah, exactly. And then OOP says, he has a habit of thinking whenever I'm talking to somebody, they're annoyed by me. I've told him to stop, but he won't. Yeah, that's when I would be like, if OP was my friend, I'd be like, we're going to hold hands while I tell you this, but I don't think your boyfriend likes you very much. Because if he assumes that everyone is annoyed by you when you talk to them, he's saying things that he's feeling without saying those things. Update March 16th, 2021, next day. After what happened, I started to reflect on our relationship as a whole. I noticed the trend that whenever I talked to someone, Derek would always be hovering over me. Not just business partners, but his family too during events. Also, him insulting me for what I would say was a trend I didn't notice until now. I told Derek about this in a last attempt to salvage our relationship because he still had some redeeming qualities, did he? What were those? I told Derek that I was thinking of breaking up because he didn't respect me. Derek claimed I wouldn't because I needed his money. And I pointed out that I came from an upper middle class family and I'm studying to become an RN, so I don't need anything from him, but his respect. Derek then broke down and told me that he grew up seeing his father putting his mother down all the time. Derek said if I don't have my own opinions and I rely on him for everything, I won't ever leave. Yeah, alright, sounds like he's just like trying to put on a little bit of a sob story here. I'm sorry. That's rehearsed. That is one of those things that you don't just realise on the spot like that. If you really do have that kind of behavioural pattern and it really is because of some deep-seated, like, idea from your childhood, usually for people that repeat those behaviors, it takes a bit of therapy to come onto the realization that that's what they're even doing because they don't see that what they're doing is wrong. So to me, this seems like a rehearsed excuse. Apparently that's what his father taught him. I don't know. I broke up with Derek and I blocked him and changed my phone number after he threatened to ruin my life and tell the university awful things about me. Yeah, see, that's Derek showing you exactly who he is. Do I believe that Derek's father was an arsehole? Probably. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree and all that, but then again, you know, having watched as many true crime documentaries as I have, you do see that sometimes it really is that you know, sometimes you just get bad apples and it doesn't necessarily mean that they fell from a bad tree. But yeah, I would believe that that's possible, but I don't know, it feels very rehearsed that he broke down in that moment and literally was just like, oh, it's because of this, this, and this. So the options are that one, that is a rehearsed excuse because you wouldn't just come to that realization that suddenly in the moment. Or two, you've known that you do this for a while, you know that it's problematic behaviour and never bothered to try and change it. Which one is it, Derek? So, down in the comments, Versus says, Derek saw his mother being put down all the time and thought that that was something to emulate. Good riddance. And then Schneet Matcha says, reminds me of the guy who constantly told his girlfriend she smelled bad, because that's what his father did to his mother, so she would always be clean and never cheat. Oh my goodness, like, honestly, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Like, what is their IQ? Because that is insane. Like, do they really think that that is going to work? Putting someone down to try and make them stay with you is always going to end badly in some way or another. Either it's going to end up badly because you end up being with a shell of a person who can't function for themselves by no fault of their own. You then have completely ruined your relationship. The relationship is always going to be based off of distrust, insecurity, like a toxic codependence, and it's not going to be based off of a loving relationship. They don't love you, they feel stuck with you, and you are going to have to deal with that idea for the rest of your life. They don't love you, they wouldn't be with you if they didn't feel stuck there, or they're going to leave your ass. Like, Why do they think this works? It's wild. Honestly, it baffles me every time I read something like this, and it's scary the amount of posts that there are. I know I've read a few others very similar on the channel, and I know I've read many, even just in my own time, either from the partner's perspective who's being basically bullied by their partner, or from the partner's perspective who's doing the bullying. And it's just wild how many people think that that's a perfectly good dynamic and a perfectly good way to keep a relationship going. Like, it's crazy. It's worrying as well, because it's like, God, the amount of people that are just suffering silently with the people that should love them the most is so sad. It's insane. If you are ever with someone who puts you down constantly, who doesn't respect you, you know, just leave. You're worth more. You can get better. And quite frankly, even if you don't think you can find better, I would much rather be on my own for the rest of my days than be with someone who puts me down constantly, you know? And you know what? There is a gorgeous sense of peace that comes with learning to just be by yourself. Quite frankly, it's so underrated how freeing it is when it clicks and you're like, wait, I enjoy my own company. That is a superpower in this day and age, my friend. Being able to enjoy your own company is a bloody superpower. Believe me. Anyway, I think that's all we've got time for today. I have waffled, I have rambled, these stories were wild, and I hated them both, but I'm glad that the outcomes were superb at the end of it all. I really am. And I hope that both the OPs are doing really well now. That's all I can say on that, really. But yeah, if you made it all the way to the end with me, then I appreciate you very much. If you give a little like, subscribe, notifications on, that'll be your initiation into the Covenant Void. Welcome! Whatever it is you're doing for the day, I hope you have a really good rest of the day. Don't forget to leave an offering of a comment for Big Al. Bye! By the way, it wasn't a wasp that flew into the guttering outside my window. It was a friggin' bird. Honestly, sometimes I concern myself. It's just come back out. It's a bird.